Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel, Journey to the Truth and Total Randomness. Today I want to discuss something a lot of you probably haven't even heard of before, but it's been in the works for years. Uh, it's called the TPP. It's the Trans-Pacific Partnership. And if you recall, a few years ago you started seeing all these videos on YouTube where they would preach that this is the end of YouTube, this is the end of the internet, and such. And I don't know, I just never really got into it. I was like, whatever, you know. I mean, how are they going to end the internet? How are they going to end YouTube and all this stuff? And finally, I started hearing about this Trans-Pacific Partnership thing again. And I didn't know the Trans-Pacific Partnership thing was actually related to this cause that all these YouTubers were putting on their channels years ago. I didn't know it referred to the fast track bill or this Trans-Pacific Partnership. I thought they were two different things. And as soon as I started reading it, and I read through 3 of the pages on this website I have here before you, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, defending your rights in the digital world. I started to realize like how bad this really is, and I'm not going to go through and read all this stuff. I mean, it's a lot to go through, and some of it does get technical. And I think this group here, this .org group, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, I think they would do a lot better promoting their cause if they really simplified their articles and stuff on here, because you start reading it and it's like jubba 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 jubba. You know, it's like if you're not familiar with the internet and networking and how computers work, or DRMs, you're going to be like, what the fuck are they talking about? So I am a little educated in it, so I kind of, I had some articles I read 2 or 3 times before I kind of it sunk in until I finally understood what they were actually saying. And I'm going to summarize it for you the best I can on the topic of when it comes to copyright and digital rights media or digital rights management. That's just one part of this Trans-Pacific Partnership. It actually branches out into uh, other subjects along the line, such as corporations being able to sue governments and townships for passing laws that prevent them from making money. So, from my understanding, like if a company wanted to mine the ore beneath a town, and the township passed laws to say no, you can't do that because they want to protect their environment, then using the Trans-Pacific Partnership, they can come back and sue that town, that government, for loss of earnings, because you're keeping us away from that jackpot underneath your town, and it's costing us money, so we're going to sue you, and we have every right to, because we have the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement now, and you have to follow it. So that's just one aspect of it. But I'm staying away from that part. I'm just focusing on what I think is the most important part right now, which involves like how we use the internet and how YouTubers view the internet as well, even down to the Fair Use Act. Now, if they've already approved this bill, the fast track bill, and the Trans-Pacific Partnership. I mean, it's already approved. I think all they have to do is Congress has to ratify it yet, which is going to be here in the upcoming months. And if they ratify this bill, I don't know when it's going to start or how they're going to handle all the information that's currently on the net already that would basically instantly become illegal. So I don't know. I don't know how, if it's retroactive. I don't know. I don't know about the retroactiveness of it. It doesn't really. From the articles I read, I couldn't gather any information on that. Um, but to summarize it, let's say you want to start a YouTube video, and you want to report on the news, and to do that, people like to see images and stuff, and you also know that you're probably going to have to take images that you found on the internet. You're going to have to copy and paste them, save them. You might tweak them a little bit, add some graphics to them to make them look good. That will be illegal. You will not be able to do that anymore. So let's say you're just a viewer and you have some favorite YouTube channels that you watch currently where they take video from news outlets or other media outlets, and they incorporate that into their video just to share with you, even if they're not monetizing the video. Now, monetizing means allowing that video to have commercials on it so that they can make a little profit off their views. So even if they're not monetizing it, even if they state below that it is for fair use, which is a law where you can, if you put it under fair use and you're not monetizing it and you're using it for educational purposes only, it's still going to be illegal. It pretty much stamps out the fair use. You might as well just get rid of the Fair Use Act because it's going to be useless after this Trans-Pacific Partnership is ratified. And I kind of have a feeling it probably is going to be ratified. I mean, it's almost there now. This organization has been trying to fight it, and this is, if you can recall, back these years ago when people were putting all this stuff up about the end of the internet, the end of the YouTube. That's what they were talking about. This Trans-Pacific Partnership bill and the fast track bill. So you ain't gonna have those those YouTube channels anymore putting videos up anymore. They'll be illegal. YouTube will have to take them down. Any video that has news videos that are all copyrighted by news stations and such, you won't be able to use that anymore in your videos. So good luck building an audience for your YouTube channel if you want to start one without that feature. So that kind of narrows down the ability to be creative and such. You won't even be able to take clips like some of the viral marketing clips that you see in, like, with where you see Hitler and he's speaking in German and then people subtitle stuff over it and to make it funny and that you won't be able to do that anymore. Anything that you can think of that's copyrighted or is put out by a corporation or a mainstream news media outlet, you will not be able to use that. You will not be able to take that photo. You will not be able to manipulate that photo, change it, and then use it on your channel or on your website. How else can I say it? Now, I don't know how that's going to affect other social media platforms, like Facebook, or Twitter, because they do share. I mean, they do share news links and stuff like that, but most of the news links and news stories that you will get are going to come from one place. The one who has the copyright on that film, on that video, on that art. That's where it's going to come from. It's not, people aren't going to be able to duplicate it and then splice it, and then throw in their words, what they think about it, or analyze it and such like that. Even if they do it for educational purposes, even if they provide the a source from, like, oh, ABC News released this story, it's the property of them, and here's their copyright and all that stuff, like, that's done. You won't be able to do that anymore. Um, let's see, what else? Oh, like today, I was looking on Yahoo's front page, just checking out their news stories, and here's something I never seen before. So I guess they're starting to get warmed up for this TPP bill that they're going to pass. But here is a story. Wilkes-Barre Scranton News. Right at the top it says, copyright 2015 Nexstar Broadcasting Incorporating. All rights reserved. This material may not be published or broadcast. So they're stating right there, you can't use it. Like, I can't take anything from that story and share it with you. Like, I will not be able to take any images or anything word for word. All I could do is basically show you a blank screen and talk to it. You basically, news stories, if people want to do alternative media and talk about mainstream media topics, they're basically going to be stuck to showing you a black screen and them just talking about the subject. And you might as well just call it YouTube radio, because it's just, it's no different than listening to an alternative media on a radio, off a radio. I don't know how else to put it. In addition, the penalties, there seems to be no limits for the penalties, because the corporations, the owner of the copyright, they get to determine how much they think the damage was done. They get to determine how much that you should be fined. They get to determine how much, maybe even possibly jail time you serve if you can't pay the fine. So it's going to be a really big step for censorship. It's really going to put a cap on alternative media. I think what one outcome of this TPP bill and fast track bill passing will cause is, like, I think a lot more people will actually download the Tor, and that's the web browser to get on the deep web. And then because the deep web, you can post as much shit as you want, and they can't track it. They can't find out who's putting the stuff up or using the images and stuff. So I think a lot of people who are going to want their alternative media, they're going to have to go to the deep web to get a different point of view on a story in the media and such. So, and here's this penalty here. Let me, of course, I'm scrolled up all the way at the top here. Under criminal enforcement and civil damages. Okay, one of the scariest parts of the TPP is not only can you be made liable to fines and criminal penalties, but that any materials and implements used in the creation of infringing copies can also be destroyed. So, if I download, or if you download an image from a media source outlet, and let's say you put it up on your website or your Instagram or your YouTube and that, and you didn't have authorization to do that, even if it's just for educational purposes, they could come in and seize all your computer equipment and destroy it. Not erase it, not delete it, destroy it. Because their argument is, even if you delete stuff, it's still there. So that's why lawyers, when they just, when they get rid of old computers and that, they have to, by law, they have to destroy their hard drives. And so that's what these guys would do to your smartphone, your tablet, your iPhone 6, your fucking PC, or even your digital camera, wherever you got that media on there. If you're not allowed to have it and you're using it for something you're not supposed to be, under their rules and laws, they can destroy it. Let's read on here. In some cases, the penalties for copyright infringement can even include jail time. Traditionally, this is because the infringer is operating a business of commercial piracy. But under the TPP, any act of willful copyright infringement on a commercial scale renders the infringer liable to criminal penalties even if they were not carried out for financial gain, provided that they have a substantial prejudicial impact on the rights holder. The copying of films that are still playing in movie theaters is also subject to separate criminal penalties, regardless of the scale of the infringement. So it's pretty serious business, people, and most people, I'll be honest, I just kind of started finding out about it like last week myself, and I just started reading up on the material, and this is definitely a censorship move. It's to censor alternative media, so I don't know what will come with this. I'm sure like bigger alternative media sites that want to use actual news footage in that, they'll be required to buy some license, and they'll probably owe some type of royalty fee to do it. For the little guys like me and thousands of others, well, millions of others, I should say, we're not going to have that advantage. So, and it's also, I think it's just going to lead, the biggest alternative media channels over time, they're just going to be, how can I say it? They're going to be infiltrated by large advertisement budgets and stuff like that, and then soon they're just going to be regurgitating everything the mainstream media wants to regurgitate via direction of large corporations and that. So yeah, alternative media is going to get tainted, is all I can say. There's already certain types of censorship going on. So if you don't have, if you don't have a YouTube channel, or if you haven't tried to start one yet, or if you haven't made enough videos to realize it, like if I make a video and it doesn't matter how much freaking time I spend on it. It doesn't even matter if it's all my material. It doesn't matter if I don't even use one damn picture. If I speak about, right now I'm talking currently, if I speak about, and if I say it, this video probably won't be able to get monetized too, but I have to do it. I'm going to tell you anyway. If I speak about the refugee crisis, if I speak anything that's anti-Islam, if I say anything that offends Obama supporters, or I can't go as far as feminists because I haven't really had any videos that discuss feminism, but I'll leave it at that. Those three things, because that's what I've experienced with right now. I took off like 27 videos off my channel because I was like, you know what, if you're going to remove the monetization because I'm trying to speak my opinion on a subject, then fuck you. I mean, I'm not going to leave it up, it's like, what's the point? Like, what's some of my videos here? I'll show you. Well, I'm not going to show you, but I'll just, I'll read them off or whatever. Some of them I deleted already, so I can't go back to my examples because I don't remember the title. Okay, here's one. Umpqua shooter already on Wikipedia first day of the shooting. What the fuck? Okay. So, in that video, all I do is discuss basically what happened, at the school. And then I explain why, it's no big surprise that uh, like hot stories or stories that just came out that day are already on Wikipedia, because you have this nerd community of writers that they just jump on it and then they start adding it to Wikipedia. And if you go to the talk page on Wikipedia, which is like right above at the top of the story of the Wikipedia page, it shows the conversation these writers have between each other. So if there was like a shooting tonight, like an hour from now, that story, if it hits the news, will then be on Wikipedia, I guarantee you, like within an hour later. So that's all my video was. That's all I talked about. It was just my talk. I didn't use any photos or images or anything like that from the school or anything like that. Just me talking about that. Well, YouTube removed the monetization off of it. And I reported it to YouTube. They said they like, oh, sorry, we don't know why it's happening, just monetization just seems to be falling off of people's videos, and it's like it's happening to a lot of YouTubers. Like I've got on the forums and on the Google forums and that, and I've gotten on the I've looked up, just go up to the YouTube videos and type in monetization disappearing off of YouTube videos, and you'll see a bunch of videos pop up of pissed off YouTube uploaders, whose monetization is being removed. And it seems more like it's more focused. It's happening more to the alternative media YouTube channels. If it's PewDiePie or whatever the fuck his name is, who just plays video games all day, that's okay. They don't touch that. Or if it's Jenna Marbles, that's fine. And I've watched some of the Jenna Marbles videos. I think some of them were funny in that. I have nothing against her, but what I have a beef with is the censorship, that they promote nonsense over the truth and reality and such. Another video, Greatest Threat to America Exposed, 2015. It was a total story I wrote myself, that I read. I didn't use any audio, anything like that. I didn't use any images that didn't belong to me. They removed the monetization off of that. And in that threat, I speak of the OIC and Islam and stuff like that. And it's not like I was using swear words or any profanity or getting mad or angry or anything like that. I was just reading off information, making it known to people. Well, they removed the monetization off of that. Now here's one where they're freaking censoring, because in a hot mic conversation I think it was 2 weeks ago, between Mark Zuckerberg and Angela Merkel, she was asking about when are you going to get on, putting a cap or basically a censorship on the refugee crisis here in Germany. And then the mic cut out. So I found the story on a town in Germany that burnt down. It was by arson. They burnt down their sports center so they wouldn't have any more room to house refugees. So all I did was talk about the story. That is all I did. I read it off like if you went onto the news and you read and you heard the news anchor report a story. That's how I reported it. They took the monetization off of that. And then I bitched about it. They put the monetization on. I actually bitched about all these videos. And then a day or two later, they put all the monetization on. And then in that same day, they took the monetization back off again. So it's like YouTube telling me, it's like, okay, you can take the time to make a video and talk about, what's really going on in the world and that. But just to let you know, we're not going to let you monetize your video. So you're basically just doing it for the hell of it. You're doing it for, it's your thing. You just want you to know you're not going to get paid for it. So and a lot of people, a lot of these YouTube vloggers and stuff like that, they're not in a position to where they can sit around and do hours of research and take the time to create a video and then upload it on YouTube and then type all the other crap you need to do into it, all the meta tags and all that stuff, and then do all the imaging and the art that you want to put into that video as well. I mean, that takes up a lot of time, so it's you at least want to get something out of it, so it kills the incentive for people to want to report on the truth. And it just really, it's going to suck when this TPP thing is passed. So I just wanted to keep you guys abreast of the situation, because a lot of you are not even aware of it, and you're not going to see it coming. It's just gonna happen one day. Say you have a website and you have links, well, not links, but if you have images from, let's say, from other corporations or news links and stuff like that, and your website gets shut down because one of the copyright holders found your image and then they reported you, they will shut your entire website down. And I think you get a chance to rebut it, to do a rebuttal. And if they don't like the rebuttal, say goodbye to your website. It's gone. Now that's fucked up, because there's a lot of people who put thousands of hours of work into their websites, and it'll be gone. You won't be able to do anything about it. And they've already, I've found a few YouTubers on here that have totally lost their channels, just because they pushed the envelope a little too much, and stuff. And that's without the TPP even being in operation yet. Just wait till the TPP is ratified. I mean, you're gonna see fucking channels disappearing left and right off of YouTube. You ain't gonna be seeing any more of these alternative media website or news channels. So, and the sucky part is there really is nowhere else to go. I was thinking about moving a bunch of my videos over to Vimeo, but Vimeo really doesn't have the platform to really promote them that well at all. Vimeo's more for like, here, I made some art, or I made this little film, here, check it out. You send it to friends and stuff like that. So, but, and another thing that's happened to a lot of the alternative media sites on YouTube is the amount of money that we were getting for our clicks, like, was cut in half. It just dropped in half. But the latest quarterly earnings from Google went up like a few $1 billion. So Google's making more and more money, but they're paying the YouTubers less and less now. So I don't know if that's just all the YouTubers are making less and less, or if it's just the thousands and thousands that I've found so far in the forums and that are making less money. Like, so there's some kind of censoring algorithm in place here, because it's focusing on people that have alternative media sites, or people that refer to themselves as truthers or anything like that. That's who it's hitting, because not only are their profits going down, also their views are going down. So their views are getting censored. Their visibility is getting censored as well. And if you weren't aware, Google already, and I hated this, I hate when they did this, but they basically, Google's personalized all your web searches, and they used a plethora of information that they obtained from you via video and audio from your own home computer and your cell phones, your smartphones and stuff. Your geo locator information. Like, they take all that information and then they basically personalized your Google searches. So, like, let's say you take the word I like, or the phrase, uh, where can I get good hot peppers? Put that in your Google search, hit enter, and see what comes up, and then call your friend, um, call anybody for that matter, and ask them to do the same thing, and then see if you can match it up. Their Google search is going to be totally different than yours. They they're going to have information that pops up that's totally different than what your information is. Even though you're both looking for good hot peppers, you're going to get different information. So it's definitely uh, an Orwellian style type of censorship here, but it's on a mass scale, and it sucks. I mean, I guess we should be thankful we got to enjoy the internet the way it was for how it was for the last decade, but now that's changing. No longer uh, can we freely roam the internet and find the information we need, because a lot of it's going to be hidden from you now, or not even allowed to be on the internet to begin with anyway. So I think that's why I'm predicting there's going to be a mass movement to the dark web, where there's some really bad stuff, but at least you'll have the option to stay away from that as long as you don't click on certain things. If you don't want to see snuff videos, then don't click on anything or get into anything that's refers to red rooms or snuff videos. So but I think that's what's going to happen, and I don't know what to think about the dark web myself. Hold on, I gotta get a drink here. Because initially, the dark web was all that crap you heard about Silk Road, where they were allowing all these drug transactions to take place, where people can get ecstasy and heroin and LSD and all this stuff, and they were using a third party escrow account. As soon as they got the drugs, they got their money and all this stuff, worth billions of dollars. And the FBI did an undercover sting, and they were able to find out who the owner of the site was. Now, what I don't trust about the dark web is that the dark web was actually created by the United States Navy, and it gave up control, I don't know, 5, 7, 6 or 8 years ago. I don't know. I don't remember the details of it. But apparently it's under control by a third party now. And the way it works, like if you're on your computer and you use the normal web, they can track you. But on the dark web, the best example I can use, say you're a kid in class and you want to pass a love letter to somebody that you find attractive in class. Well, the normal way, you'd pass it to one person, and that one person would pass it to the next person, and then that next person would pass it to the person of interest. Well, with the dark web, what it does is everybody has a letter in class, all from you, and everybody sends their letter to that same person at the same time. So it's basically impossible to track. The only way they could track it is if you're the only person on Earth using the dark web. But millions and millions of people use the dark web. So that's why I see a lot of people going to the dark web in the future. But I just wanted to do this video. I didn't want it to be really long. It seems like it has now. I don't know how long I've been talking for. But I just wanted to share this with you guys. You can go to the website for the TPP information that I was explaining to you, and start reading up on it, and try to give them your support if possible. But I really don't. I don't really have any. I'm not very optimistic about it. I don't think it's gonna be stopped. I think they're gonna pass it here. They're gonna ratify it, and it's gonna be the law of the land. And once they pass it, they're saying it's gonna be almost impossible to stop once they do it. So it's just another step closer to this one world government that, all these bankers and corporations want us to be under. So all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. If you get a chance, I did make a Facebook page last week, and I think I have 2 subscribers on it right now, but I'm trying to build it up. I should have done it years and years ago, but I never got around to it. But I did make a Facebook page, so I would appreciate it if you could follow me on that. In addition, if you could sub to my channel, like the video, that would be great. I'd really appreciate it. And just share it and pass the information along to everybody so everybody can get up to par as to what's going on. There's so many things going on. We're getting attacked from like so many different angles. Like our freedom is just really, it's getting attacked by so many different angles. It's really hard to determine like where it's coming from, but it just seems like it all has a purpose. It's like it's gonna all come together in one big master plan after it's all said and done. And then all of a sudden we're gonna be waking up and we're only gonna have one TV channel, one thing we go to on the internet. It's just, I don't know. It's just because everything is consolidating. And if you grew up in the 70s, back in 1983, we had 50 companies that owned all the media in the United States. Now we've consolidated down to 6. There's only 6 now. 6 companies that run all the media in the United States. And you should be thanking Conan O'Brien for when he released his little comedy sketch on the scripted news reporters saying the exact same thing, no matter which TV station it was, no matter which network it was, they were saying the same exact thing. So in a way, I think he was doing his viewers a favor by showing them how scripted the media is. And then we learned that the government actually releases scripted news stories to the media as well, and they basically got to say it word for word, what the information is that they release to the public in that. So there's definitely a cap on the media, and you can't rely on it anymore, the mainstream. So alright guys, well thanks for watching. Thumbs up my video, please subscribe, and you guys have an awesome night. I will talk to you later.